I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, man. The more I listen to this album, the more I want to cry. I mean, this album means so much to me in my own personal life, and it didn't hit me in my first reaction until afterwards because I was so hyped. But once I got a good feel for the lyrics and just the true overall meaning of the album, man, that just hits you in the heart. When Pusha T starts off the song with Malice and Pharrell, that beautiful ass song with John Legend about the relationship with his parents and the things that happened and the things that were going to, man, I can't even finish talking and saying the sentence because of how much that song really means to me. Luckily, through the grace of God, no pun intended, I still have my family with me. But I have others who I love dearly that are no longer here. And now when I listen to this project, it's like through a different lens. To give you a little bit of backstory, man, I was on TikTok arguing with my own generation. Like I was having a little moment on there going a little bit viral because when Pusha T dissed Travis Scott, right? People were saying that Pusha T is only relevant when he's dissing somebody. They said nobody ever heard of Malice. They said Pharrell is washed. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. You are just straight disrespectful. It's one thing if it's not your music take, that's fine. Like nobody's forcing you to have a certain music taste. But to get disrespectful to like the hip hop pioneers and people who propelled the game forward, I can't let y'all do that. And now that this Clipse album is out, and I'm gonna get in detail about this album, there's no way you can say a horrible thing about this. There are no, if this album was trash, oh boy, would the timeline be flooded about the trash that it is. But fortunately for all hip hop fans, which I knew this album would not be trash given the lead up and some of the singles that came out, it was a phenomenal album, man. I mean, let's start off with track one. Track one is The Birds Don't Sing. Having John Legend on there, that very soulful voice, he has that very gospel-filled voice. So, like, I knew what kind of song we were going to kind of get, right? But then you get to the subject matter of Pusha T and Malice. Jesus, bro. That song hit me like a truck afterwards. My first reaction, it didn't hit me that well just because I was so hyped. I was ready for some hype shit. But then I was like, oh, fuck. When I got to sit down and really listen to it and just think about my own personal life, I'm like, man. And then this is where the crazy part is. That leads into track two, which is Chains and Whips with Kendrick. Y'all saw my first reaction. I lost my mind. People were trying to say that Kendrick is not a top 3 rapper of my generation. I gotta tell you, man, that is like saying 2 plus 2 does not equal 4. You gotta be kidding, man. You gotta put your bias aside. Whether you like his music or not, that's a different thing. But you cannot tell me that he doesn't have his skill-wise. The way that all 3 of them just float on the track, right? And Pharrell, by the way, I gotta give Pharrell his props. I was one of those people that was like, within the last 2-3 years, I wasn't really feeling Pharrell's production. It wasn't bad. It was good, but it wasn't great. Like I hold Pharrell to that great standard, but it just wasn't to that great standard. It was just good. Like he was producing beats that were like, how do I say this? The beats were like feel good music. It wasn't like that traditional hip hop that I'm used to hearing him in. Like for example, when he works with Clipse, the production is dark and there's true hip hop elements, yet still innovative because he's a genius. But when he did that song with like the guy from K-pop, J-Hope and Don Toliver, that was like a weird, spacey, kind of bright production. And I wasn't that big of a fan. I mean, after the first listen is cool, but after a while it gets like a little bit like, all right, man, I don't want to hear this. And Pharrell's kind of falling in that bag. But then he came out with the single with Ace Trumpets, and you heard that dark production. I was like, oh yeah, the boys are back. It's about to get crazy, and this is gonna be the tone of the album. And man, I was right. Anyways, man, back to Chains and Whips. That is a crazy, phenomenal Kendrick verse. The delivery, and then people are saying that he's speaking from the perspective of Donald Trump and just going at people. Oh my, bro, that was genius. And then you also got to give it to Pusha and Malice because they were on that song rapping their asses off, yet they didn't even get washed, which is another crazy thing. Because normally, when Kendrick hops on a song with that level of greatness, it's a wash, man. Like he's gonna wash him, but man, you got Pusha and Malice, you got 2 monsters on the track with a menace. Everything's gonna go great. All right, track 3 is POV, which is with Tyler, the Creator. I'm so mad that my reaction got blocked on YouTube for that, but that is a perfect song. I thought all 3 of them fit seamlessly within that. Production was amazing. The production is one of the highlights of this album. That is like the holy grail of this album, but then you put the rapping skill on top of it. Holy shit, man. It's just from top to bottom, really great, a very great, thorough listen. For track 3, I do want to say with Tyler, the Creator, I've been a fan of his since he first came out, the Odd Future, the weird stuff that he was doing. I miss dark Tyler, the Creator. I miss when he was on that dark kind of aesthetic. He's gotten more of into an artistic feel, very kind of, I don't want to say poppy, but a little bit more bright and a little bit more artistic, which I like that. I do really rock with it, but it was so nice to hear Tyler the Creator on some dark aesthetics. Felt really great. So Be It, we already heard it. All things considered, an amazing song. I think that's going to be an underrated one. But I do like the sequence here between tracks 7 to 9 with the MTB, TTF, EBITDA, FICO. But what I really want to talk about is Inglorious Bastards. That is a weird instrumental to find the pocket on. The way Pusha T and Malice are rapping their asses on those songs, man, especially that one, Inglorious Bastards, that is a just straight like staying face throughout the entire album. But that one specifically, listen to that instrumental one more time. Listen to how weird it is and how weird even if you don't rap, try to rap. Try to write something to that instrumental and without using their flows. That is very difficult to do. Imagine hearing that instrumental in the studio and you're like, I want to rap over there. That is a challenge, and they knocked it out of the park, man. I mean, going on, you can keep going on to the rest of the tracks. I thought the By the Grace of God was an amazing outro, given the whole kind of like the whole subject matter of the entire album. There was times where they were like kind of they're doing that luxury rap, and I felt like they were dissing me, like the regular people. But at the same time, it sounded amazing. So like I can't be too mad. But for the most part, they use yes, everybody's gonna say they use coke bars, right? But if you really listen, they're using the coke bars as a vehicle to tell you something else, to tell you multiple different stories. It's up to you to kind of open up your mind. And if you're going to focus on them saying coke bars, then that's going to be what it is. But if you actually like dig deeper into the lyrics, they're going to explore different themes, especially with Malice kind of being saved and kind of getting to that religious aspect, which I do really enjoy. I said it in my first reaction. I'm kind of in that same journey, little baby chain and nothing to flex, but I really appreciated Malice on here, which that was another thing. Until this day, I still don't even know if Malice or Pusha, like who got the better of who, because they both do the thing. But yeah, track 13, By the Grace of God. Given how track 1 was in the start of the album, I thought it was fucking phenomenal. The sequencing. My only gripe about this album, it's 12 songs, right? 38 minutes. This is one of the very few times where I wish the album was longer. I'm usually a fan of very short albums for the fact that there's a lot of filler in today's music. And when you condense an album to that short of a time span, or like of just it being under 40 minutes, right? There is no room for filler and no room for failure. So I'm assuming you're giving me your best work. Pause if needed. So like I saw this, I was hyped for like, what was it again? 12 tracks, how many minutes? 38 minutes. Man, those 38 minutes went by like this. I was nodding my head the entire time. There wasn't a moment where I was kind of like, I'm not really feeling this one. Like I wanted to skip it, but there was not a time where I wanted to skip anything. I thought everything was pretty well. Everything was very cohesive. Like you would not take one track away from this. There's no way you're gonna take one track away from this album. It would kind of feel like the album is missing something. But I feel like this was a perfectly crafted album, and definitely album of the year contender overall, especially in hip hop. I think it's definitely gonna be up there. I know the Larry June album was really great. I need a little bit of a refresher of my albums that came out this year, but this one right here, I have not stopped playing it since it came out. I enjoyed it. I played it an unhealthy amount of times already. Each time I find something new. Each time when I go into it lyrically, new, production-wise, something new, and then just my feelings it hits me, man, because I really do love music, and it's just like, wow, we've got some great music, and I just wanted to be shined, because there was for the longest time, right, in terms of mainstream music, I was saying that 70% is trash, and half of that 70% is mid, right? 30% of that 70% of the whole pie is really great music, but we never get to really hear about it because it's not like there's levels to mainstream, right? So if you think about mainstream level, it's like, man, we've gotten so used to these long albums. We've gotten so used to having some mid and filler throughout the projects. Now we got a short album and just absolutely phenomenal. They knocked it out the park. Overall, man, putting my personal bias aside, I think I'm going to give the album right now, I want to give it an 8 out of 10. I do want to say 8.5 out of 10, but man, there's some bias in me still. I'm not going to lie to you, but talking to some other people, I know I'm not tripping. I know I'm not saying anything stupid, but At the moment, I'm gonna put it at an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really tremendous, great listen. Definitely gonna be listening to this at multiple different times, multiple different areas of my life, maybe at the gym especially. Oh my gosh, the car test was crazy too. But it's definitely one of those albums that maybe I'm not gonna play when a girl's coming over, obviously, because it's hip hop and Pusha T and Clipse. You feel me? But overall, my final score 8 out of 10. Let me know in the comments how you feel. What would you rate this album and your personal thoughts? What maybe something I missed? Till next time, I'll catch you on the next one.